Good evening. Welcome to the ShadowTrader Video Weekly for Sunday, May 27th, 2018. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Given the nature of the markets and also the holiday weekend, this video is not going to be all that comprehensive. So let's just hop into it. As you can see, absolutely nothing has happened since the last video. If you recall, somewhere here where we had this move, I said, did the innovators just change the tone by innovating at a low there, basically? And that's always kind of a low volume event. And then since then, the next video was basically saying we are stuck in a range here. And here we are, another 5 days have gone by and we're stuck in the same range. So obviously the 61.8% retracement and the 50% retracement is still holding the market. Nothing has changed at all in the S&P. We are starting to see some green shoots here in the NASDAQ. On Friday, the NASDAQ did show some relative strength, that it kind of moved up a little bit, but in reality, it is also not out of its range either. It was just showing basically some relative strength, like I was saying. I mean, the NDX was ahead all day, end of the day up about 11 points, while the S&P was down. Now, part of the reason why the S&P was down was because of this rout in crude. As you can see, oil just got absolutely smacked on Friday, and that of course took a lot of the energy sectors with it. I'm looking at my core sector list, and I can clearly see that all the way at the bottom of the list is oil service and oil. Mostly oil service. Mostly the service stocks got hit worse, which is like OAH on the huge gap down here, and you can see it just got destroyed. But this, I think, is going to open up some opportunities, because obviously back to that crude chart, this is a trade I would definitely be looking for. Crude trades very technically, and you don't often get good trend line touches for trading opportunities. Here was one that was really good, and this is going to be another one here. Notice also this prior high here is starting to support, or has been support before in the past, so it could be a short-term support here. But I think more than likely we come down to the trend line and then we get a little bit of a bounce. And this, of course, would probably be a good area to initiate longs in any of the oil services stocks or other. Let's have a brief look at market profile here. Of course, no video weekly would be complete without a little bit of market profile. And to be honest with you, it is telling us absolutely nothing. And the reason it's telling us absolutely nothing is because it is range bound in this huge area. So the key takeaway from that is simply the overlapping value, right? Look, you have 3 days in a row here. Where is value? Identical. 2 days in a row here, value identical. 2 days in a row here, value identical. Here you have a little bit of advance, but it's constantly overlapping, right? There is absolutely no section on this chart other than a gap here where you have value clean to the upside or downside. It's constantly overlapping just on gaps. So here's a gap, and here you have a little bit of action, right? Where you close up here and you opened down here at the green dot. So this is really very, very tricky. It really just, there's not a whole lot to glean from this. It's mostly just shorter term trading signals. I've been saying that the action in the profile is more beneficial to responsive traders right now than initiating traders. It also makes perfect sense that we would have an inside day on Friday, given that it is the last trading day before a 3-day weekend. And that's also why probably this, a little bit of this chop kind of intensified on Friday. So in a nutshell, and I know I'm not telling you too much because there's not too much to tell, where does this leave us? Well, basically we're still looking for the breakout out of the same range. I do still believe that the resolvement here is probably going to be to the upside, but it appears that the market is taking its very, very sweet time on it. We've already started to see some green shoots at the end of this particular week in terms of trade setups that I've been looking for, but the action has been lackluster. I want to show you a perfect example. Is BABA had literally 5 touches of the same resistance, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, and then broke out on Friday and closed where? Below the line. Couldn't even hold it. So that's a perfect example of how the market is just very lackluster here. The moves are just not clean. It's a lot of back and forth. The market is definitely in a wait and see mode. All right. A lot of the other FANG, I know BABA is not really FANG, but I keep it in the same category as Jumbotrons. A lot of them are still looking very healthy. But again, a lot of consolidation. There's Facebook, very sideways move. Apple, very sideways move, right? Eventually it'll break probably to the upside out of there, and on and on. Same thing. Google's a little bit more mired in the middle of a range, which makes it a little bit more dangerous, but probably will also resolve to the upside. And Amazon as well, very, very sideways, right? Just kind of inching along. So that is the situation there. All right, so summary, keep it tight. Next week's a shortened week. Market is still trying to break out of a large area. If we get to move above the 61.8 in the SPX, obviously it's going to be a pretty strong signal. Market wants to move a little bit higher. At the very least, we will double this range of 40 points, which will take the market 40 points higher. But I think it's going to go a little bit higher, probably about to the 2,800, which would make sense since that is the next resistance point right here. All right, again, very short, very sweet. Ahead of the holiday, not a heck of a lot to say. I wish everybody out there listening to this a great time with your families. Hopefully I didn't take up too much of your time on this holiday weekend. That's another reason I wanted to keep it short. On behalf of myself and the entire Shadow Trader team, as always, I wish you good trading and good night.